bit further back to take his throw. Harwood Bellis away. Over the far side, involving Bishop again. He's a handful. You might like this sort of rough and tumble of a battle of the derby. Portsmouth's goal-scoring hero with 11 championship goals last season, 57 in 136 at different levels of the game.
Yeah, the 500,000 metres at Stanley. What he brings is such a different element. He's an old school, he's a really fine finisher.
It's the same fun as well. Andrew Segatic for Australia. He's hit the ground, running 2 goals already.
That won't be his best from Zach Thompson. Been very impressed with Segatic so far, really have.
Vrosler playing right back today. He was playing right wing back in the early part of the season. They lined up with a back three. It's always the intention, I think, of Worsfield to switch to a back four. 4 men in attack. Archer was being pressed for Paul. Shaughnessy. He has to contend with there and just about escape. Stevens. An opening burst from Portsmouth, Southampton trying to wrestle a bit more control in the game. Good challenge that from Cameron Archer.
Yeah, puts himself about, very mobile across that front line. It's not letting the Regenfall just get a nice tidy clearance, physically putting a marker on him.
Portsmouth already thinking about making a change, and I wonder if it is that thigh injury that has befallen Andre Dizelle. Luke Leroux, South African, getting stripped and ready for action. It's a real problem at this stage of the game, isn't it? Having to change your game plan if you're John Mousinho.
As you see, the impact rattling the crossbar.
Ryan Fraser. Segatic runs into Trafford, then Downs, then Manning. Fraser couldn't take it in. Segatic has got it back again. And he feels he was fouled. It is Dizelle who seems to be struggling. Signed on a free from Queen's Park Rangers last summer. Started 32 games last season.
Yeah, in some ways, a sort of breakout season for him, really. Such a fundamental part of the side. He started this season well.
Looked like the incident where he picked up the injury. Portsmouth haven't made the change just yet. Shaughnessy. This is John Swift. Great ball out to Swanson. Swanson looking for a delivery, comes back out to Chaplin. And Shay Charles had it come to Southampton's rescue.
Yeah, brilliant block from Shay Charles. Just thought, felt it from Chaplin.
Ogilvie. Again, not the best of clearances. Chaplin tried to send it into Segatic, but it was a little bit hefty. Southampton haven't liked those high balls into the box.
So, I mean, there's sort of been something to play in the way Portsmouth want to play, but I'm hoping Toby Bishop and runs off it.
Bergman trying to get the better of Rossler. He does that! Well, Bishop got across his marker. Harwood Bellis did just enough.
Well, I think that's a real issue. Rossler against Murphy. Get it out to Murphy, he's a real handful. Rossler gets burnt on the outside. Good ball. Well, it's really good defending. If he gets any touch on it, but behind it, well done. Harwood Bellis.
Portsmouth did well at West Brom. They beat Preston and Oxford. Their only defeat was at home to Norwich, and they almost fashioned the draw out of that one. There's spirit about them. Started well here. This is Murphy. It's a decent looking cross. Bazunu had to come. slam into a crowd of players, did his job, but there was an infringement.
Yeah, I mean, they loaded all around the keeper that's tried to float out of the back. That's a really good ball in, and actually excellent goalkeeping.
Spent the season on loan at Portsmouth in League One. I think the Saints fans have forgiven him now.
Do they ever?
Good take by Zaz. To send Archer away, tidied up by Swanson.
First little sign of a combination between, this front four. I think there's a real danger. You add to that Shay Charles and Glyn Downs behind them. There's a lot of attacking intent.
He's got place to deal with, and Schmidt's come out, and the two have collided. And the referee has given a foul against Fellows here. And that seemed a little bit ill-judged from the goalkeeper to come so far.
I couldn't agree more. What is the goalkeeper doing? He just doesn't need to come. Ogilvy's got control of it. He's ahead of Fellows. I don't think there's any foul here. This is just. I mean, what's that? It's Ogilvy running into Schmidt. Now, maybe these both have come off a bit worse, but certainly Fellows did not give away a foul. Ridiculous.
Ogilvy's getting some treatment. So is Schmidt. There might be a little bit of a delay here. Gives John Mousinho a chance just to call his players over to have a quick word and to just take pause after what has been nearly 18 rather intense minutes here on the south coast.
Maybe that also thing with Gisele's maybe gone away. Maybe that's okay now. There's still people warming up. But what I do think is that I think Giselle and Swift have dealt really well with Downs and Shay Charles. They've got up against them. They've got on the ball. They've played forward, been quite positive. What they must do, Southampton, I think, is don't go too long too early. Shay Charles is very good at joining the front, but Cameron Archer's not an out-and-out hold-up man like Bishop is, so it's going to be into his feet.
Looks like Schmidt has hurt his hand there. Ben Killick, who is the substitute goalkeeper, getting ready over on the far side just in case. Ogilvy just having his faculties checked. Mousinho's not happy at all. This isn't the last we're going to see at Southampton on ITV, by the way, because on Tuesday the 23rd, we've got more Carabao Cup action for you. They go to Liverpool, 7:30, that's on ITV 1 and STV. Looking forward to that.
That's a lovely draw, isn't it?
What about this one as well? We do like a derby on a Sunday. Ipswich against Norwich, Sunday the 5th of October. Join us for that one in the Championship. And why not make it a hat-trick? Sheffield Wednesday against Sheffield United. Two clubs not doing particularly great at the bottom of the table. A few changes going on there today. And that should be a game to relish. And Derby Leicester, a close rivalry as well in the East Midlands, Saturday the 6th of December. All of those ITV1 and STV.
Sam, I'm just going back to this collision. I mean, what does the linesman see to give a foul for Portsmouth? I mean, I just don't. I'm not being funny. There's no real connection at all from Fellows. They just collide with each other.
Is it a push in the back from Fellows?
I don't think it is. I don't think there's anywhere near enough contact.
Well, Will Still certainly wasn't happy about it. Ogilvy has managed to get back up now. And Schmidt's pulling on his glove, so we should be able to continue again in a minute.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a great deal of anything damaging to either. It was just a collision, but a very poor decision from Schmidt. Didn't help Ogilvy in the slightest.
Let's have a look at some statistics, Mike. Give us a little bit of an overview of what's been happening in the first 20 minutes. Certainly, Portsmouth have looked the likeliest.
Yeah, certainly have. I mean, 5 shots to none, and it's an impressive start. What they're quieting down. The Southampton fans have been quiet because they have nothing to roar about. They're crashing the bar and a few other little opportunities. Nothing to absolutely challenge, other than when they hit the bar for Bazunu.
Well, John Mousinho still discussing with the fourth official, Stephen Martin, the decision that led to the very lengthy stoppage now. And Schmidt is back and ready to take this kick. Ben Killip did go down to get his kit out the dressing room. That long delivery from front to back from Schmidt is a danger, isn't it?
Yeah, particularly runners off, and Connor Chaplin's a master at it. Sekic has shown that he can get goals already. He's looked bright and lively. And, as I say, probably Portsmouth's best player in the last couple of seasons, particularly last year. Josh Murphy is a real handful.
Gazelle seems to have shrugged off that problem. Portsmouth certainly will hope so, especially with concerns about Schmidt's hand as well. He's had a shot to save so far in the game. Paul looking for Bishop. There with Harvard Bellis. It's just over his head. Roeslev was a little bit hesitant.
Clever header from Swift.
Gazelle. Now on to Murphy. Looking to test Roeslev once more. Ogilvie. Swift. Born in Gosport, grew up in Gosport. Very much educated in the ways of this local rivalry. He was at Portsmouth as a kid before he was released at 11. Then picked up by Chelsea. And had a really good EFL career, and when the option of coming back to Portsmouth presented itself, he couldn't wait until his phone was lighting up with all his old school friends, buzzing about the fact he was coming to the area.
I think in a lot of the build-up for this, everyone's talking about possession. Saints having second most possession.
Portsmouth here.
18 teams having more. Obviously, it hasn't panned out like that. Portsmouth had quite a bit of possession, and I've got to say, I would say that Portsmouth has probably pressed a bit higher than Southampton had. There's a bit of a problem for Schmidt.
Yeah, well, even Paul almost had a massive problem. Under pressure from Azaz, the free kick was given against Southampton. We are going to have another lengthy stoppage here because I don't think Schmidt's going to be able to continue. It's a big moment for Ben Killip.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's still sitting down actually, which is rather strange, bearing in mind that it does look like there's going to have to be a change. John Harley and John Massinio with the fourth official. All the players crowded over by the far side.
Will Still have certainly got a bit more urgency and a bit more crisp passing, a bit more energy, But these games notoriously decided by one or two. Yeah, there's that collision again. Doesn't look like this. I mean, he definitely comes off the worst of it. I think he hasn't. He's going to have to come off.
Well, big moments, big talking points, and a big rivalry. And if you want a little bit of an example of the tension in the build-up to this match, look no further than the wig that sits above the head of Portsmouth's most famous fan, John, Portsmouth Football Club Westwood. It was stolen by a group of Southampton fans at a Hampshire Senior Cup match a couple of weeks ago. It was held for ransom, posted all over social media, only to be returned very quickly once the culprits were unmasked and started to worry about what attention might befall them. Indeed. Apparently he's got it back in time.
That is a wig as well.
It is. He's in there somewhere. Schmidt is off. And Killip is coming on. The former Hartlepool stopper. In the final two championship games last season, starting the Reading match in the Cup. It's a big change at this stage of the game, though.
Yeah, it is. And what we'll still want is to get some, opportunities to test Ben Killip early on. A lot of pressure, huge game.
His first kick, not quite as long as Schmidt's, but pretty decent.
Right. Dragged it a little bit, a little draw on it into a tune.
Bishop just indicated that he wanted that a little bit more central rather than too wide. A few stoppages in the opening half an hour of the game. Just wonder whose hands that plays into. Will it help Southampton reset and find a rhythm that so far has gone beyond them? Here's Fraser. Joe Charles.
It's interesting there to watch Ryan Manning get involved in the game for the first time. You know, he's such an attack-minded player. He's got great set-piece quality, of course, but getting in that left foot area, out wide left, he delivers a magnificent football.
I think he's probably still looking a few wounds from that Armenia game with the Irish national team in the international break. The combination of Murphy and Bishop so important to Portsmouth. He'll feed on anything that goes into him.
Yeah. I also think that a little bit of this is thankfully there's only one clean sheet in the 25 game.
No problem for them. Liverpool's had a problem here. A free kick after a spat with Cameron Archer. Champion, referee's got in the way. Looked like it was going through to a Portsmouth player, so there should be an uncontested drop ball.
Yeah, I think Flynn Downs is saying, listen, polish up, sharpen up a bit. It was a sloppy ball from Roseland. Rightly so, under no pressure, should have been able to pick up pass into Finn Azaz. It went straight to Shaughnessy, so comfortable.
There's Murphy. Ben in the corner for Ogilvie, but Rosleb stood firm. The former Brentford man who switched Premier League for Championship in the summer.
I also think that Real School's going to work with Tom Fellows and said just double up on Murphy when the ball gets out wide. That's working so far.
One of his throws, a big one into Bishop. Nice snap through to Chaplin. Fellows was there again. Swift with the foot back. Good header by Bishop into the line for Portsmouth. Shaughnessy. Swift, a little bit tight. Brazil just about gets there. Bishop does well. Now Murphy. Ogilvie's got into the centre. Ogilvie leaves it. And it's away by Manning it out on this near touchline.
Yeah, just a little bit, not as much on the cross. I think Ogilvie might have got a touch on it. Again.